Okay, hey everyone, welcome to an episode of On the Rest from Off the Cuff. Today I have an interesting little segment for you guys where I'm just going to talk about tactical watches and right now, currently my favorite tactical style watch strap. Now, of course, you don't need to be in the military to appreciate these pieces, whether it be the strap or the watch themselves. But I like to kind of just go over this type of stuff, just because it's a little fun and it breaks up your typical review. We're going to be featuring two straps from Anchor Strap Company, which were actually founded by enthusiast Brando B. Delgado, with the belief that every watch strap they craft should evoke a spirit of perseverance and strength, like sailors gripping tightly to rigging amidst the storm, hence their hold fast motto. Big thank you to Brando and Anchor Strap Co. for providing these samples for review. Now, I'm going to be highlighting kind of two different thoughts in terms of like what makes a great tactical watch. Of course, my time in the Marine Corps. I think I can speak on this and years and years and years of being on YouTube talking about watches, experiencing hundreds, if not thousands of watches. Yeah, I feel like my 2 cents could add some value. So on one side, you have your Seiko Turtle-Reissue, right? The Prospex RPE 93, and on the other side you're going to have this really cool AVI-8 times Worn and Wound Creative Services collab, their covert model, the 3775 Alpha. Now, they kind of both take a different approach, right? I feel like the Turtle is one of those ones. It's just so simple and solid that and ubiquitous, completely available, that you're gonna see these. These are the watches that you find at scuba stores and that you find on the wrists of folks that are out there that are still wearing, mechanical timepieces that are out there operating. And then on the other side, you have something that was very deliberate in terms of the fact that it was wanting to capture a certain aesthetic without necessarily being built around that, right? It wasn't like this was selected or issued or has become very popular within a space over time. They said, hey, this is what we think kind of would be cool. And they do a great job with that. I mean, it's a hardened steel with a smaller profile, very svelte, very sleek, very minimalist. And I think it works really, really well. And then I paired both of those, of course, to these really awesome straps. They're the elastic Deployant straps from Anchor Strap Co. And they take that kind of play of that parachute material and make it just something that is a lot more intuitive in terms of the wear and just a lot easier. And they have nice little details where they've added things like the hole guards and everything like that with the silicone layers. So there's a lot to like here. That was a bit of an intro, but let's go ahead, zoom the camera out, get these pieces in hand, and take a closer look. Okay, let's start with the Turtle here. Of course, everybody knows this Turtle, and if you don't, take your time, well, maybe not too much time, but just soak this in. It's just a simple Seiko diver Prospex watch, 45 millimeters in diameter, 13 millimeters thick, and 48 millimeters lug to lug. It does have that cushion style case, which means it's going to wear a lot more compact than its specs might tell you. 120 click bezel. Nothing to write home about, but absolutely does the job. Bezel insert is aluminum, so as you wear this thing down, it will absolutely take a lot of that wear and tear and give you a nice amount of patina and personality in this nice little silhouette, again, of something that you're taking with you. It does have 22 millimeter lugs, and they are drilled, and I do have it again on this strap from Anchor Strap Co. Flat Hardlex Mineral, 20 bar at divers, 200 meters, water resistant, which is also ISO compliant. And then it does have an automatic Seiko 4R36 movement with 40 hours of power reserve and beats at 3 hertz or 21,600 vibrations per hour in terms of that beat rate. Screw down crown, unsigned. And yeah, you can see this is not a brand new watch. This is a watch that I've worn on and off for many years now. Actually, I think I purchased this one from Mark from Long Island Watch, so shout out to Mark. But Yeah, I think this is a very obvious choice, and but the strap isn't so obvious because not everybody knows about it. Here's some niceties there. It does have that Omega style deployant, and then you do have, of course, the reinforced holes. Now, a lot of these types of straps are going to have much more complex open and closure type of setup, but here, very straightforward. Oh, just hit my. There you go. Check it out. Very easy on and off wrist, single pass underneath, so it's not adding a lot of thickness. Very, very comfortable. And of course, the additional give that you're going to have here is going to make it to where as your wrist swells, if you're in a high activity or anything like that, then it's going to just fit really well and it's going to do its thing. And then the reinforcement actually helps keep things a little bit more stable than some of those ones that are just pure elastic. And I do like that the elastic here isn't overly stretchy, but not overly tight either. I think it's a nice little sweet spot. And again, this type of setup works for me. You're getting a lot of the benefits of some of those other straps, but with more convenience, a bit more straightforward wear for everyday purposes. Now, for this piece right here, again, there's full reviews on both of these. I mean, geez, this one's been featured tons of times on the channel. But for this little guy here, there is a full review. The AVI-8 Worn and Wound Creative Services Covert, and 37.8 millimeters diameter, a lot smaller. 4 o'clock crown. You can see thickness at just 10.7 millimeters, 45.7 millimeters lug to lug. Very, very wearable. And then you have a 20 millimeter lug width, which is fantastic. And we do have it on this one, which has a little bit of a red accent, which I think ties in quite nicely. You have a flat sapphire with an inner AR coating. You're getting 10 atmospheres of water resistance, or 100 meters. And then you do have the Miyota 9015, so you're going to get that 42-hour power reserve, as well as a nice smooth 4 hertz sweep, or 28,800 vibrations per hour. And this one is the other side, right? It is meant to be quite covert, and I think it does a great job with that. It doesn't overplay its hand. There are definitely watches that do, I feel like, at times kind of overcomplicate things here. There's a very clear theme, and it works out. And we'll get it on the wrist here, and you can see very nice, very clean, and again, quite comfortable. This one is going to be something that can definitely fit more easily underneath a cuff, of course, and it's not going to be a big deal if you want to put it over a cuff. You have that elasticity to get that done if you wanted to, right, depending on the situation. But yeah, I just thought I would kind of showcase these. I've done even reviews for these straps too, so if you want like the full detailed breakdown, check the channel history for that. But for me, I just wanted to showcase this nice little pairing because, yeah, I think they go together really well. And this one, it actually came on a pretty cool strap. It comes with 2 straps, but I feel like this is just a really fun, space in terms of just feeling like it really aligns well with the overall theme. You have that, very, again, tactical, right? Not just tactical, but tactical look. And then, of course, yeah, Anchor, it does pay homage to the military. And, they're located in one of the best military towns in Southern California, Oceanside, which is where I live. So always happy to support local business. And I think these are great. These actually they're not super expensive, but they're not cheap either. They go for $75, and that's with the Deployant clasp, or you can get them for just $30 if you already have the clasp and you just want to switch out and you just want to buy extra straps. So that's totally attainable and affordable. And yeah, I think they're a good deal. I enjoy wearing these. Actually, a buddy of mine went on a trip recently, retired Marine. And he's not a guy who wears a lot of watches, but I let him borrow one. And it was on one of these Anchor straps. And he was honestly kind of converted. He hasn't given me the watch back yet because he's been wearing it, and he really likes having that kind of closed looped feel that feels very much secure and solid like a bracelet. But at the same time, it's a lot more comfortable and can help kind of disappear on the wrist where he's not necessarily thinking about the watch at all times. So yeah, it's a little anecdotal, but you know, it's just a little bit of feedback for you guys. If you're shopping within this space, I don't think you can really go wrong with either of these options. Again, very different approaches to a very similar outcome, which is just having something that you can kind of wear. Of course, it's going to be on the more robust side of the house, more capable than it needs to be, but it is nice to have it. One use case being, of course, something that has been around, that has kind of been adopted by military folks. While there's one that is kind of made and catered to military folks, or you know, maybe you're just enjoying a really good spy novel or something. This is also something I think you could really enjoy, because there's definitely a lot of creativity. You look at that multi-finishing there. You got matte blasts, you got satin brushing, you got high polished bevels, you have black coated knurling, you got even like a little cabochon style crown cap there, which just a little nod to horology in general. And then you have these like very cool little 3D style indices. So yeah, I think there's a lot to enjoy with either road you take. And honestly, this does remind me a lot of some of the old school 1970s Seiko 5s that were very popular overseas, especially during the Vietnam era, if I recall correctly, where they'd have, you know, a little offset crown at the 4 o'clock and it'd be something you could just wear and grab and go. And this is definitely going to be a lot more robust than that, and you're going to get that nice smooth sweep there from the seconds hand. So yeah, I think these are two fun options. If you're interested in either watch, definitely check the links. I'll leave them down in the description, and then there'll also be some links here to the side of the screen in terms of so you can just click right on through. So with that said, let me know what you all think down in the comments below. If you like the video, please do like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.